If going out to dinner with your children is something that stresses you out because of your children's behavior and manners or lack thereof, then listen to our next guest. Etiquette expert Aimee Symington is here to show us what we should be teaching our children when it comes to table manners. Aimee, thank you for being here. You brought your children, Luke and Emma.
I did, yes. I sprung them out of school to be here.
Well, good morning to both of you. Thank you for being here today, too. I'm sure it was a hard sell getting out of school to come be on television. Okay, where do we begin when it comes to teaching our children table manners?
Okay, so before they even eat, what they need to remember to do is to sit at the table, to sit up straight like they're doing, feet in front of them, not underneath them, sitting funny. They look good like this. Then is to take their napkin and is to open it up, to just take it to the side, open it up and put it in their laps like this. Then it's important before the meal is that they don't start to eat before everybody is seated at the table.
Okay, you know that rule, right? We don't eat until everybody's seated at the table. Okay, that's good.
Exactly.
That's good. She says, of course. Yeah, I expect big things from you kids, considering your mother's an etiquette expert.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on these guys.
I know.
Okay, so then either at home or when you go to a restaurant or someone's house, sometimes it can be intimidating looking at all the silverware. So it's important to teach them what everything is for. So Luke is going to hold up the salad fork. So that is usually the smallest fork on the outside to the left. Then the soup spoon is the one that has the largest bowl of the spoons. Then you have your main course knife and fork. That's easy. And then the silverware at the top, that is for dessert. So you've got for your cake or your ice cream. Now, then sometimes it's kind of confusing for people to know which is their bread plate, which is their glass. So Emma has a good tip for that.
Okay, Emma?
Well, a trick to remember is you make a small B and a small D, so for drink and for bread plate.
Isn't that a good one? B and D, everybody. You can't mess that up. Bread and drink. We love that. That's a good rule. That's a good one. You should tell your friends at school.
Okay, so now eating American styles, which is most people do in the States, Emma's going to demonstrate how to eat American style. And that is where she holds her fork like a pencil, puts her hand in her lap, and sits up straight and keeps her elbows off the table. Now, Luke eats continental style, so he's going to demonstrate that. And if you do eat continental style at home, make sure that the elbows are tucked in. They're not out like wings like that.
Okay.
Those are a couple tips. If you're going to be having soup, for example, there is a proper way to eat soup, whether you knew it or not. And so both the kids are going to demonstrate that, even though we don't have soup bowls here. So you actually would go down and scoop away from you, bring it up and over so you're not hanging over the bowl.
Sometimes I go like this.
And
sometimes, and that's not right.
No,
that is not
no.
right. Drink right out of the bowl.
Exactly.
Okay.
So those are some of the keys for that. And then after
the end of the meal?
At the end of the meal, there are important things you need to do. So Emma, for example, what should you say before you are let loose to go run around?
May I please be excused?
Excellent. May I please be excused? Very good.
Very good.
And also, you know, I forgot to say that if someone asks you to pass the salt, sometimes we think that is such an easy thing as you pass the salt. But Luke, why don't you demonstrate for us what you actually are supposed to do?
May you please pass the salt, Emma? Sure.
So you notice that she passed.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. He's got good manners.
Yes, he does.
So you're supposed to pass the salt and the pepper together, and you're supposed to put them on the table, not actually in their hand.
I didn't know that. If someone says, please pass the salt, you pass the salt and the pepper and put it on the table, not into the person's hand.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep, they just stay together. They're married. That's just they have to be together.
I'm so embarrassed that I didn't know that.
See, a lot of things that even us adults can learn.
Very good. And look, how old are you?
I'm 8.
You're 8 years old, and you already know all this stuff. And you're 11?
11.
Is that right?
Yep.
How old should at what age should you begin teaching your children manners?
Even as old as 2 years old.
Okay.
I mean, I need to learn to sit still. I think that's one of the things that kids often don't do. Is they need to sit still, sit up properly, and start using the utensils the way that they're supposed to be used. So I think that's important. And then also the end of the meal, I think it's, you know, like Emma said, to ask to be excused. You know, young kids can ask that. And then also, at the end of the meal, it's important to know where your napkin goes. Some people don't know that. So you guys want to demonstrate what you do with your napkin at the end of the meal? Is they would just slightly fold it, put it to the left of their plate, And so then they're ready, and I also teach the kids to take their plates and everything to the kitchen.
I think that's very good. Do you ever eat spaghetti with your hands? Tell the truth. Ever? You
No.
never do that. You never do that.
Perfect children.
FinesseWorldwide.com. FinesseWorldwide.com is Aimee Symington's website. Check it out. Nicely done, you two. Thank you so much.
No
I
problem.
appreciate it. Very nicely done. Thank you, Aimee.
Thank you.